guys. Hey. Honest one, guys. Huh? Honest one, guys. I'm here today. I got 3 of tubas. One more is here. These are 3 of tuba and Karoo. Two females, 2 males is what she had. She finally had a female for me. She had 2 females actually. You guys get over by me here. You come by me here. I'm just trying to feed these guys right here. I'll tell you why in a minute. It's not going to take long to eat. Let's get right up on here. Let's get by me here. Let your sister eat here, I guess. These dogs will be agility masters, because they can do pull-ups like crazy. And just pull right over. They climb straight up. You're a good girl. She drinks so fast that she inhales it. This is colostrum that I'm feeding. This is bovine colostrum. I buy 3-stride bovine colostrum for these guys. Now, I'll tell you what's been happening. We've had a kind of a very brutal week. Every breeder goes through some very tough times over the course of their career, but this past week for me was a really brutal week. 22nd, Luna was supposed to whelp, and she's the daughter of Dakota. And she would have been having the last litter as a daughter of Dakota. Would have been the final pups out of one of his daughters coming. And he's been a prolific stud dog for many years. And those daughters of his are some of the very best in the world, and as a preservation breeder, we focus to keep that lineage going. Well, she starts to get ready to whelp there on the 22nd, and he's in the pen beside her. And he decides it's time to go. He's got to head to Valhalla. So I lost my big fella that day while she's whelping. So that was just a heartbreak. Where I'm working with Luna, and be darned if she doesn't have trouble whelping. She's got a huge, huge belly. The pup's got nowhere to move. Around midnight it was getting really rugged. By 3 a.m. she'd been pushing for a long time, since like 7 or 8 o'clock. So I phoned the vet. I said, well, we're not going to get this pup out. You've got to see if you can help me get this pup turned or something. One of them's breached her. She hadn't had a pup yet, but it worked hard at it. So the vet said, yeah, bring her in. So I took her in, and the vet said, you're not going to move that pup. There's no room. We'll have to do a C-section. So I said, okay. So we got the technician there, and we took the pups out. There was 9 of them, big pups. And we got them all out and got them all breathing. They were sluggish, of course, after a C-section. They're sedated. Obviously, when you sedate the mother, the pups get some sedation. And Luna was slow to come around. Oh, wow. I stayed there well into the morning, and finally, you know, her vitals seemed okay, everything seemed okay. The vet said, yeah, I think she's okay. Well, you can take her home with the pups. So, brought her home, helped them all nurse. She's very, very sluggish. I thought, wow, this is rugged. So anyway, Vida and Tuba both had litters. Vida's were just about a month old, 3 weeks old, and Tuba's were only about 10 days old. So, because I couldn't get Luna to wake up very good, I was moving them pups around between them other two, just so they got some food, but making sure they got colostrum from Luna too. And Luna was barely milking. Finally she perks up a bit and starts to come around. This is about 12 hours later. And finally about midnight, 12:20, she's ready to go outside. She's standing up walking, so I let her out. She's getting around, does her business. And bring her back in, and I thought, well, she's perked right up. I had been filling her full of calcium, and I dissolve it and put it in a syringe and give it to her in the mouth. We had treated her with calcium at the vet. Everything appeared good. We had checked her blood. All seemed good. So she was coming around, and finally that sedation's worn off. I had been up for about 40 hours, so I wanted to get an hour or two of sleep, so I went to sleep till 3 o'clock a.m. And I come out and she was cold. She was dead. And I thought, wow, what a tragedy. Powerhouse big female. Just absolute beautiful dog. I raised that dog. Sat with that. It was prize dog. Just unbelievably good dog. Amazing. One of the best dogs ever. And here I lose her dad and lose her in the same 20 hours. I'm like, good Lord. Brutal Lord. Holy cow. Just devastating. And now I've got 9 pups to feed. Wow. So I had to scramble, and I was feeding pups. Now, when a pup is real small, it takes a long time to get him to get going. On a bottle. He wants to nurse from his mother. His mother was gone. So I had to utilize Tuba and Vida. Vida's the sister, Tuba's the aunt. Now, if I hold the pup right close to Tuba, let it suck Tuba for a second or two, and then put the bottle there, it will start. And so that's how you got to do that. You got to keep moving, and that way I can get that colostrum into them, because these other 2 females are just on regular milk by this point, and Vida's pretty much drying up. So anyway, I use these other females as placeholders to get the little guys going. But it's almost a 2-hour process to get through all 9. And then the first guy's ready to eat again. So it's almost a steady procession like that. So then I had to make a decision, because I had to pull these guys off of Tuba and let Tuba handle some of them. So Tuba comes in here every fourth feeding, and feeds these guys herself, then goes back and feeds. She's feeding 4 of Luna's. And I'm still feeding Luna's as well, but Tuba's helping me a bit there now. One of the other males of Tuba's is in there with her, just so she can smell her own pup all the time. And then I feed these guys most of the time, and I don't put them back with Tuba. I bring Tuba here. Vida, of course, I had to take Vida's pups and wean them. They were ready to be weaned anyway, so I'm feeding them milk as well as ground beef, and they're not going back with Vida, so they're full feed. They're doing great. I'll get a video on them. Vida now is helping me. She gives a little milk yet, but not much. But what she does is keeps the pups company and keeps them clean. I can go in every couple hours and feed them. Now, at the end of 7-8 days like we're at, it's the 29th of March, all those little guys eat pretty fast now. So within 15 minutes I can go through all of them. And these guys, of course, eating, like you saw, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then, so we've got that figured out. It's pretty good. Now, unfortunately, in the first couple of days, 2 of the smaller ones, and smaller means they were conceived later in the process. On a 9 litter, those could be 3 days younger, those pups. And so some of the pups were like 3 days older, you know, because all the eggs aren't miraculously conceived at the exact same time. It could be upwards of 3 days before they're all fertilized. And 2 of them little guys, they were very, very sluggish, so the sedation hit them hard. And they may not have gotten enough of the colostrum that they needed from Luna to perfectly set them up just dandy, or they were just, you know, weak from everything that happened. And it's not the ideal way to be born, put it that way. It's pretty good, but again, there's little things that happen. But I couldn't keep 2 of them. They didn't make her, and it was a tragedy. But I have 7 that are fantastic and doing good. Yeah, you ate so fast, girl. You ate so fast. You girls are good. You girls are good, boy. And so I have 7 now. Thank the good Lord, as a preservation breeder, Vida had females, so because she's a daughter of Dakota and one of the last to whelp, I have a daughter there, and that's Vida's last litter. Luna I have 3 females from Luna, so there's a daughter for me to keep there. Unbelievable. So how profound that is. So as a preservation breeder, you can see just how fast a lineage can stop, and there's no more females to carry that lineage forward other than now daughters. So all of Dakota's daughters are done whelping, and I'm now working on granddaughters and great-granddaughters and his boys. So luckily I got his boys. But that's how fast that goes. And luckily for me, on Tuba's final litter, she has the biggest litter she's ever had, has 4, and has females. So pretty incredible that we got all these females in this last stretch. So it's really been an interesting, rugged time. A lot of tough thoughts and stuff, but at the same time, pretty fun, because you just can't help but like little pups that are bonding with you, and you know, just really want to be around. And of course, when you're feeding them, you can't have a better bond, right? So yeah, very, very good. So exceptional tough times, but at the same time, the rebirth, the starting fresh, the brand new genetic, bringing forward the old bloodlines, there's something to be said for that too. Something to be said for that. So that's what's been happening here for this past week. So I've been kind of quiet, obviously. I pretty much live in the kennel, eat in the kennel, sleep in the kennel, do everything here. So it's one of those situations. But we're back to normal now. Yesterday and today were pretty good. I was getting there. Everybody, most of the dogs were running on their own. Basically turning them loose and hoping they come back, which they do. But pretty good. Spending time with Jaeger. He's such a fantastic dog. Very good to have him here. So that's been good. And then getting the Letta pups. I got the Letta pups outside. They're doing so well. Most of them are starting to go home now. So it's been pretty good. But I'll do a video on the others here right away, and then let you guys see all them guys. Herc, you just hang on. I just had Herc out for a big run. And he does take his time coming back. So I brought him back in for a bit. You guys just chill out now. But good group of pups here, boy. These are world-class dogs. These are the best ever. Tuva really did a wonderful job. These will be the most handler-focused dogs on the planet, of course. Because you know Tuva already is. And now with this kind of attention, it's fascinating. So these guys are wonderful. And Tuva, every fourth milk she comes in, stays with them, bonds back up with them, feeds them up, cleans them all nice. They're happy. But they live to be by me, these guys. Yeah. So yeah, so that's what we're doing here on the Camilla preservation program. Holy cow. So yeah, lots of memories, lots of stuff going through my mind, let me tell you. When old Dakota went, the energy just went whoosh out of the building, just like that, just whoosh. And I was sitting with him there and I thought, wow, I could just feel it go whoosh. And Luna, man, oh man, she figured, well, I better not let him go up there by himself. Better go to Valhalla with him. She knew the sisters and the aunts could look after these guys, so unbelievable. So yeah, well, I'll go and get another video made of these rascals. I don't know which one I'm going to do first. I got 4 sets, so I got half the pups with Tuva, half the pups with Vita, and then I got Vitas by themselves, so I'll do them too. You guys just chill out there. That's a remarkable set of dogs right there. Beautiful pups. All doing so good. Good.